carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Time's gone by, I've traded black dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning. This is 1100 WSG. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. What's going on One Street Over? From where you living, y'all? A chance for us to just kind of, catch up with everybody. I've said it many times. I've been here since, I've been in Springfield since 1992. And because, my world was in Nashville, all my work was in Nashville. We just, our church, our school and all that, because my kids were good pastor kids. We didn't really know what was going on in the community. And a lot of us in Robertson County, we commute and we just don't really know what's happening in the community around us. And so that's the goal of what we do here at One Street Over, literally what's going on One Street Over from where you live, and especially for those who maybe don't work in the county, you can tune in. We have this show archived on the WSGI Facebook page. You can follow it. I always put it up. If you follow my page, you should have a pretty easy way to get to it. And then you can follow WSGI, and that way you'll get alerted when the show comes on. We used to have a feed that would originate on my page, but for some reason it's just not working anymore, but that's okay. You can click into it with WSGI and follow it that way so you don't miss out on any shows and stay up to date on what's going on. And they also have a YouTube page where you can go and check it out. And of course, you can just listen to it on your car radio or on your radio in your house, the terrestrial signal, as we like to call it. It was so funny. Yesterday, I was talking to some of my kiddos in my audio video production class. And typically, when I ask them who still listens to radio, I get just blank stares, like, what's radio? And because they do podcasts and they're listening to their devices and they're listening to the different streaming services for music and all those kinds of things. And they don't really listen too much to radio. But I actually had some kiddos yesterday that say they still listen to the radio in the car. So I was encouraged by that. A lot of people think that these radio waves will go away. I keep saying they will not, because this is for more than anything, it's just a security issue. If we ever got to where we could not communicate through the internet, you got radio waves and you need them. So we've got to maintain them, and we appreciate what Ebenezer Broadcasting is doing to maintain our little local 1100 WSGI. You can see this again. You can check anything out that they have on programming here and WDBL. The Spanish side, this is the English side. They have a Spanish side. You can check it out worldwide via the internet. So that's just cool. We got some cool stuff going on here. And now I had promised you our public defender was coming in today to share his testimony. They're under the weather in their household. I talked to Matt this morning, and we're going to get him rescheduled, but I'm not going to not talk about the Recovery Fest just because he's not in here. I mean, we've been talking about that and teasing that all week because it is something that is coming up on Saturday, and I hope you'll be here with us. It's going to be at the fairgrounds from 5 to 9 p.m. This is our second annual Recovery Fest. We had it last year, and we did it middle of the day, and it just seemed to be a bit hot. So we're pushing it to later in the day, and I'm thinking more people are going to be able to come out because as I've been talking to folks, there's so much going on already with school just getting back in session. I mean, we are just covered up with stuff. Now, the weather this weekend's looking great. It's going to be a warm one. I'm glad we're in the evening because the high is like 89, but I don't see any rain in the forecast. So that's the best news for us. It is going to be one of those things. People ask me about so what is Recovery Fest? Recovery Fest is an opportunity for you to come out and see the programs that are available to help people in recovery. And this is chemical and alcohol recovery that's going on. Now, we also, in the outpatient therapy and the things that they do here locally through our recovery courts, they do have anger management classes and things like that, but things that have seemed to typically kind of lead to the abuse of substances. And so that's what the gear is. But if you're struggling with things like anger and parenting issues and all those kinds of things that could come on in here, Bill, that could lead to some issues in your life, you're going to find resources on Saturday. Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center will be there, and they're going to talk to you about all the things that they do through their services. And so you'll be able to find out about that. But the Recovery Fest is just an opportunity for you to come out and see all the things that we have locally. I had Althea Sickle in here first of the week in Novella, and they work with the Recovery Court program. And one thing that Althea had mentioned, and I agree, is that somebody that's going through a recovery situation and they get on and they Google recovery near me, recovery programs near me, and they'll get a link to something that will lead them to a program that maybe has a local number, but it's not a program here. They're wanting to take you to another state or something like that. And so we need things here at home because a lot of people, they can't leave their life. I mean, they can't just up and take off. And so they're trying to get help locally. So that's what Recovery Fest is all about. Hey, Bill Jones. Oh my gosh, I feel like it's been forever since I've
believe
seen
you do this to me.
Well, but you're just always so good to me. Well, you can always say no.
I hate to do that.
No, but anyway, I'm
glad
sorry.
to help.
But anyway, I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Brian Pulley's coming in here at 7:30, but
Okay.
you know I love you. You can always tell me no. But I just, because you know me, I can run my mouth. You know, I can talk. I can.
Well, I didn't want to mention that.
Well, oh, that's okay. We're friends. But we had our public defender was planning on coming in to talk about Recovery Fest and all the things going on there, and he's got a testimony on his own recovery, and we will share that. But they got sick, so it just happens. But
Be interesting, yeah.
yeah, I think it will be too. And so I called Bill, I think about 20 till 7, and I said, "Hey, brother, I'm back.
I think
Guess
it was
what?"
10 till 7.
Oh no, because it was about 20 till. It wasn't quite that. It wasn't quite that close. I gave you a little bit more time. I promise you. I looked at the clock before I called.
Okay.
Let me show you my phone. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastically good for my age, you know.
Oh, listen to you. Stop that. You're not.
I now write articles for the Robinson County Connection. So I just finished one last night about getting old, growing old in age. But it'll come out 19th, I think, of August,
When did
something
you
like that.
start doing that?
Oh, about a month, 6 weeks ago.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. That's awesome.
I enjoy doing it. I used to do it years ago, 20 years ago.
That's awesome.
So I thought I'd like to do that again. I got so many ideas I'd like to put down in writing. And I sent out one of my regular mailing last night. You probably hadn't read it yet because it's fairly long.
Yeah, and I
about
got it. Yeah.
weather
Okay.
and
I
how
saw it.
the Bible predicts weather
Oh yeah.
and how it does it.
Cool.
And it's one of the best things I've done lately.
Ooh, I can't
Here
wait to
lately,
read
I
it.
can't
Okay.
spell, I can't remember things. You know, I know everything, but I just can't remember it.
You have to sit down and I'll start trying to explain to somebody some of the things that I'm working on. I'm like, I don't have my notes in front of me. And I said, I need to have my notes. I'm trying to work on a real clear bullet point list of the things that are just key, for the things that I'm trying to share. And so I'm trying to condense things down to just bullet points and those types of things. And what the thing is, as we get older, this kind of engagement where you're writing and you're studying is so important to keeping everything
Well, I think
sharp.
so.
I
Yeah,
think it's
so.
just crucial. And
I'm not as good as I used to be in writing. I know, but I want to do it. I like to do it. I enjoy it. So as long as they'll publish it, I'll keep writing.
That's wonderful. I'm excited to read that. That's wonderful. And I can't wait to read that. This week has just been first week of school, and we still got a lot going on in our world, which I mentioned to you, and we're not going to get into that. And that's all still happening, and that's just a very frustrating, very, very. And I don't know how much I'll say about it on the other side. It'll just depend on what the Lord leads me to do and say. But we've had some trying times in our family, but the Lord's got it, and we trust Him completely. And but quite anxious to get everything kind of rolling like it's supposed to be. But we've got that going on, and you know what? We tore our house apart. We've got we have been planning.
Looks like that.
But we've just needed to do some not renovation. I don't know if renovation or anything. Our house has not had a lot of real intense maintenance in a long time, and it's really starting to show. Just looking awful. The outside needed some stain. I mean, just a lot of just needed a facelift. And inside, we were able to go to an open floor plan to open our living room up to where we can, because we can't get our kids around the table anymore. Because I'm about to have my 5th grandchild.
It makes you old, doesn't it?
I love it. But our little Vivio tribe down here in the South is growing. Pretty soon we're gonna be rivaling the one up north. Because we got a bunch of them down here now, but so we just couldn't fit, and so we in the middle of all this drama that's going on in our lives and the things we had planned to do these renovation things this summer. So we went ahead and did the demo and trying to put it back together. But when you've got something that's just kind of preoccupying, it's hard to focus and zone in. But I'm just going to brag on Jim Tees. We've discovered the best handyman I have ever had.
I want to know who.
Jim Tees. Oh my goodness. This young man is the husband of Bethany Tees. She's my physical therapist at Star. And so, or one of my, Kelly as well, because I'm doing hand therapy now too, but he is her husband, and he just has done a little bit of everything. And he can do a little bit of everything. He can do everything. And so we were having a terrible time trying to find somebody to just help us to put some new lights in. Because we went and got
I've been saying for a long time, you need people that can do most anything and come around the house. I don't care what it costs, just somebody. I've got a little overhang on the outside of my house that's falling down. I said, no, I can do it, but I don't get on a ladder. So
I got you, guy.
So you need people like that.
Well, and their little one
knows what they're doing.
He goes back to school next week, and so that's going to free Jim up a lot more because because she's doctor of physical therapy up there at Star, so he has been trying to help more with the little one, and so he's not been as available this summer, and we just had him come out and help us run these lights and stuff, and we're talking boom, boom, great job. Cannot say enough about him. And we like to never got anybody to come out. Nobody wanted to mess with our lights because we were taking down all the hanging fixtures and going to this recessed lighting to open the room up. Well, but that's when you're trying to redo something, it's a lot more trouble than just putting electric into a new home. And so that's what the electricians want to do. But he can do that. He can do building. He can, a little bit of everything he does. And
I envy somebody that's that talented. I always wanted to be and couldn't.
Very good handyman. And I'm telling you, man, I don't need to be, my husband will be like, LaVern, shut up. Because my husband has a list.
Yeah.
He's like, well, Jim.
Somebody else will get him and you won't be able to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the big thing right now, we've just got to finish. We've got to get our house back together, and we've got to get everything done.
Before winter.
Yeah, yes. And we've got some cabinets we're changing out and things like that. And so you can't have him until I'm done with it. But Jim, awesome. Just outstanding.
I want his number.
You got it. I'll hook you up. But yeah, we've been doing all that. So it's just been kind of chaotic. And that's, I say all that to say, that's why I'm just not up to date on your articles. I love reading your stuff. But that weather one, man, I'm going to check out quickly because I love
That's one of the
kind of
best
stuff.
I've done.
Yeah.
In fact, I've given it to
anxious to
some
read that.
people who don't read a lot.
Yeah.
I said, tell me what you think.
Okay.
And I got nothing but positive
Okay.
things
Well, I'll
about
give
it.
that
So
one a look for sure.
it took me a while to get it all together, but
Yeah. Okay.
it's very good.
You know, another place that you might look into publishing some of your stuff, and I don't know if
I've really not.
well,
I did 2 books self-publishing, and I thought, this is too difficult. I'm not going to do this again.
well, see, I love writing. I'm getting ready
Problem
to
I have
republish
with
some
it
stuff.
is I'd sit down in a day and I'd work on a chapter.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow, I don't remember what I did yesterday, and I got to read it again so I can pick up the flow and go to the next one.
Okay.
And I thought, this is over and over and over again. And if it's very long, 150 pages or something,
To have the flow.
I get tired.
understand what
I
you're
get
saying.
when at the end, I'm so tired of it. I don't want to look at this anymore, And
I
so
get it,
I
yeah.
thought, why do this? I can write little articles and I send them out
Yeah.
to people like you and other people I have on a list. I send them out, and I get some surprise comments sometimes, which tickles me. I mean, I love
Oh yeah.
negative or positive comments.
That's what I
That's
do too.
fine.
If you know,
Why
agree
do
with
you
me,
think this?
why?
Type thing.
That's cool. That's cool. But I tell you, it's staypositive.news, and they do local stuff, and they would be one that would publish the same kind of stuff you're putting in Connection.
Yeah.
And I don't think there would be a conflict of interest, and I bet they would love to know that you're writing.
Whatever.
Okay, I'll make those.
I enjoy
I'll
writing.
get you connected with them and with Jim.
It's not difficult to
Yeah.
write. You just sit down. I get an idea, and
Yeah.
I say, "Oh, I'm going to expand on that." And
Yeah.
I go, got all the newspaper wants is a page and a half, 2 pages, and
Oh, I
that's all
can't
they
wait.
want.
Is
And that's fairly long.
Okay, I wonder if I can go online and read what you. So you've already had
can.
something published.
Yeah, you can if you remember. You have to get
we are. We're
Oh yeah,
subscribers.
you
We
can
get
do it
the paper.
online. Yeah.
We get the paper, and so I didn't
okay.
know.
You're
I'm
not reading it
one-
then.
I don't have. I'm just so busy. I'm just
I know.
so covered.
That can
I've
be
got so
detrimental
much-
to you.
I was supposed to have an appointment in Nashville that I canceled today because I've just got too much going on at school, and I've just until I get things rolling in the classroom, that's
yeah.
got to be my focus. That's just got to be my focus. Everything else is just gonna have to wait because you can be as prepared as you want to be, but once those students step into that classroom, there's things that are just unforeseen. Mine's a technology class, and everything seemed to be fine. We had everything, and then when we start trying to sign in computers, we couldn't get online. Wonderful
Very
technology
frustrating.
people at Robertson County, though. Franklin came in yesterday, and he's got things up and humming. And so I think we're going to have a really good day, and things are going to just start clicking. And I thought, I've got to just be there for every minute of it. I'm going to have to just put this appointment off. But once I get things rolling in the classroom better, I will catch up on my reading. But before we run out of time, I really want to ask you this question I asked you on the phone. What was it like for you on the first day of school? We got Brian Pulley coming in from
Well, my mother took me to school, and that was Main Street School.
Okay.
Then, that was 1950.
Okay.
There was no Cheatham Park. It was a cemetery there.
Okay.
And it had a little gazebo in the middle
Okay.
of the cemetery. And on weekends, they would have singing groups that would perform, and everybody would come and bring a chair and sit around and listen.
Right.
Wasn't any TV back then, just
Mm-hmm.
radio. And so on Sunday afternoon, on a pretty day like today, people would come and just sit around and listen to gospel music singing or whatever
Yeah.
they wanted to sing. And I'd ride my bicycle. I lived on Connell Street, so I'd ride my bicycle there and stay there for a while. But it was sort of interesting to sit among the tombstones, watching somebody sing, listen to
I
them.
bet.
But anyway, across the street where the center is now was the old Main Street School, and it was built in the
Where
late
the
80s.
center is located now.
Yeah, it was built in the late 1800s. And I went to first grade there,
Okay.
and I never forgot, my mother took me in. I was scared, and there was another girl that was kin to me, and she had a plaid dress on. Well, it stayed wet all day, and I didn't know. I thought she spilled something, and she told me later. She said I was so nervous I peed in my pants.
Oh, bless her heart. Oh, my
And so she didn't forget that. She'd always
bless her
remembered it.
heart, I'm
I remember, though, this was right after World War II was over.
Yeah.
So I had a boy in my first grade class, and he taught me how to draw tanks, Army tanks. And we would
Okay.
draw tanks and airplanes. And then I found out his father was killed in a B-24
Oh,
plane in
man.
World War II.
Yeah.
And it's the first thing I've ever heard, thought about World War II. And I ran across, I have a whole big box of movies at home that was made in the 40s when I was young. My daddy made them. And on up all through life, I've got 50 rolls of film. So I sent them off to Legacy Box in Chattanooga, and I had 30 of them digitized, which was sort of expensive, but they're not going away now,
Yeah.
But it really interesting to look back when I was a little kid, 4 or 5 years old, running around in these movies, and all my aunts and everybody's gone but me now. That was in those pictures, and my brother, he was there. And it's just interesting to see how people did what, there's no sound to them, but I saw my grandmother. She was born in 1876. I think the YMCA is celebrating they were founded in 1875, so it was 150 years for them, and they're celebrating that now and giving T-shirts away. But I thought my grandmother was born a year after that, and I can remember, and I wrote the article. Let's see, when was it? This week? Yeah, it was about seeing our first TV at home, and my grandmother had a Dumont television. Well, most people don't know you had 3 channels: ABC, CBS, and Dumont. You probably hadn't
what
heard
happened
that.
to NBC? I mean,
No, ABC.
so it was ABC,
It was
CBS?
NBC, CBS, and Dumont. Then Dumont,
Never heard of
they
Dumont.
made televisions, and they produced television programs, and then they went out of business, and ABC picked them up. So that's where your
Really?
three
That's where the
came
3
from. That's in the
networks. I
article
had
in the paper.
never heard that. Here I
Most
teach
people hadn't.
history of audio and video.
I love doing stuff
tidbit
like
I
that.
need for my history class. That's fabulous,
Yeah.
Bill.
Well, my grandmother, of course, she was old and when she got her first TV,
Right.
but she didn't watch it. She read a lot.
Yeah.
Had Billy Graham stuff all over her sofa, I remember, and stuff. But anyway, we would go over there and we would have the old Dumont black and white TV to watch. It had a round screen, and we had to sit close to it. And but anyway, she didn't watch it. We did when we were over there in Christmas and holidays and things like that at her house. But I never forgot that. I got a picture of it, actually. I got a lot of photographs,
Yeah.
old stuff. But I talked about the test patterns, too, what they looked
Okay.
like back then and why they were there.
Okay.
Do you ever remember that? You ever saw a picture of the old test patterns?
Yes.
It had the Indian on it, and all these things looked like a cross and
Yep.
different intensities of black and white lines.
Yeah.
And well, they first did that. They did that for engineers be testing the signal, and they would go off at nighttime, say 10 o'clock at night. I don't know what time, and they went off at night. They went off at night, came back on the day, but they had these test patterns on there all night. And in the early days, they would hold a card up to the camera that had the pattern on it, and it was they hold this card
You
up
could
there.
see it shaking sometimes. It was like
Well, they put it on a stand or
Stand?
something,
Oh,
but
okay.
sometimes they started holding it up and they said, "Well, that ain't gonna work," and they put it on a stand,
Yeah.
But that's where it was called, I think, a card or something, test card or something like that, I think. But anyway, back then, and then when color television came along in the '60s, they had a color test pattern, and of course, TV didn't go all night then like it does now, 24/7.
signed off when I was a kid.
And they would play, when they'd go off at night, they'd play a song. And maybe it's, a national song. Or I remember they had one with a jet airplane talking about,
I remember
singing
that.
about skies or
Yeah,
something.
I remember
but,
that.
But, that hadn't been that long ago.
It really hasn't.
No, we have moved so quickly
Yes,
in
we have.
technology that it just, when you look back at it, it's so amazing of what we've gone through.
Yeah.
And little kids, I remember kids coming to school and they didn't have anything. And they just didn't, their clothes were awful. And of course, I didn't think a whole lot of that. I just thought, as just a kid like me, you know. I had old blue jeans I wore, and I didn't think about it until later in life. I look back at them and say, well, they had a really hard time. But you remember your teachers, what, you know, that's so impressive that your kids will remember you as long as they live,
That's
long
so
after you're
special
gone.
to me. That's so special.
Yeah.
I tease them all the time. I say, you know, because I'm hard of hearing because of all the loud headphones over
Me
my
too.
career. And I warn them to turn them down. I said, I'm going to be long gone and you're going to be ringing, your ears are going to be ringing. You'll be like, yeah, oh, Miss Vivio told me not to do that. And they're like, you mean you'll be dead? You're so morbid, Miss Vivio. And I just laugh. I get so tickled. A couple of things you mentioned I want
Okay.
to look back around to real quick before we forget. How old were you when you started school?
6.
You were, so they started at 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
We didn't have
5-year-old
kindergarten.
Yeah.
We didn't have
I
kindergarten.
didn't have kindergarten either. Now, some people did by the late 6. When did I start to school? I was born in 62. So, you know, I started to school.
I was
and
in college when you were
Well,
born.
but see, I started when I was 5 because I was going to be 6 in December. And I was so big. I was almost as tall as my first grade teacher. Now, she must have been a little thing, but I remember being very tall, and she would make me go and get things off the shelves because I was the only one that could reach them. And I remember one time
I have
she
to get
said,
my wife's tall. I have to get her to do that now.
it's funny. Well, she had wanted me to go get some notebooks down
Yeah.
for her. And I told her, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. And she's like, you get back there and get those books. And I went back there and threw all over the place. I was like, I don't feel good. And she's like, I guess you don't feel good.
Yeah, right.
But I'll never forget that. But they would always have me do this stuff because I was taller. But we only had first grade. We didn't have kindergarten. Other question, and this is completely jumping back to another subject. You were talking about your video, your film.
Yeah.
Do you have I know your family would be, you know, something you'd want to see, but do you on those films have footage of our town?
Some of it. I was looking.
Because
There is
that would be
a
so interesting to see.
there's a house on Fifth Avenue that Mr. Walter Bentley used to live in. It's between White Street and Garner Street, and it's all multicolored now. And I think she rents out the upper part to contractors and all. But for some reason, I took a picture of that house, and it doesn't look the same today.
Yeah.
And I have some movies of a snowstorm in 1950, I think, up and down 49 here of houses and going up Fifth Avenue and the trees falling down. I've got that.
That would
I've
be
got a
interesting.
movie of girls that were participating in the fairest of the fair, going down a dirt road going into the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Before Memorial Boulevard
See,
was
that
there.
would be interesting. Do you have anything of the downtown square?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I
that
don't.
would be. I would love to see that. You know, if you had.
Somebody probably
But,
does,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, but that's interesting, and I think it's great. I've got a friend that does digitizing. Might be cheaper than this other
Well,
service.
hell, they're expensive.
Yeah, and he's local, and you wouldn't have to ship it off. But Larry Souder, we had some film that we were up in Michigan some over the summer, and our uncle Cooch that we were up there for his 89th birthday, and for a family reunion, he gave me some reels of film that were Vietnam stuff, but it was training things, and we had those transfer for him. But there's also a couple of little reels of film of the family, and so we got him to transfer those, and so he does a great job. Larry Souder, I can send you his name or number, but we found video of Mark's mama, you know, on there. And then also of his sister jumping rope out in front
Yeah.
of the grandparents' house, and video of
Oh,
his
that's
grandma.
interesting to me.
It's just neat,
Yeah.
and so it's just fun to see that stuff. But
Well, my mother's
Yeah.
brother in World War II, he's an engineer, and he came back with videos of World War II. It was really
Wow.
good.
yeah,
And his wife died, and he remarried, and the second wife threw him away. He didn't really want to see him either. He didn't care because his daughter
Yeah.
she pulled one out one day by accident. What's this, Daddy? He said, no, you don't want to watch that.
yeah,
And
it's just too hard.
yeah.
For sure. Interesting.
You
Well,
know,
like-
they could bring things back from World War II that, you know, they brought guns back.
Oh yeah.
I've got a pistol my dad took off a German officer. I still got it, a 9mm. And
What?
they'd bring stuff that he brought. He was a radio guy like me. He
Yeah.
went around and installed radio transmitters in enemy territory, sneak in and sneak out and they had to move them constantly because they would
They
do
just tear 'em down.
triangulation to find where they were transmitting from. But he brought some of that stuff back, and that's what got me interested in amateur radio, was just
That's
fooling
cool.
with what his stuff was. But
You're so interesting, Bill. I mean, that's the thing. I called him. I was like, okay, I got a few minutes. I think we'd rather hear from Bill than just listen to
you
me
got your
ramble.
next guy out there.
I know Brian's in here. We'll bring him in. But thank you for coming out. And you're going to be in Monday. Is Monday or
Friday.
second?
Yeah, it's Monday.
Monday is your
I
history
don't know what
Monday.
we're going to do.
The second Monday of the month is always our history
It
Monday.
always works out.
We can keep talking about this. You need that pistol that you say your grandfather took, or your dad?
My father.
You ought to take that over to the Tennessee Firearms Association and talk to them about that. They'd probably find that interesting.
It's not anything unusual. There's a lot of them out.
Oh,
but I just know, and they're right valuable now. And when you buy parts for them, they're just sky high.
I bet you they'd like to see that, though. But anyway, good talking to you, and I'm going to look forward to reading that article, and I'll see you Monday.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill, so much. Bill Jones, our local historian, just fascinating man. And you can read his stuff now in The Connection. How cool is that? And then reach out to him, and he'll send you the articles he sends me, and they're always just wonderful. But Brian Pulley's going to come on in here, and we're going to talk about United Way. But while he's getting set, we know who we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. Great friends of the program, great friends of the community. So much so, let me see if I can get this to pull up real quick. They gave a gift to, here it is, to the city of Cross Plains. Look at that little car. Isn't that fun? Oh, that's cool. And I turned your mic now. Here we go.
That's really cool. My son would love it.
Yeah. Isn't that great? They gave the city of Cross Plains let's see, it's a smart police car, donation of a smart police car. It's super cute. Cross Plains Police, and it's so fun because they've got one that they use for Exit Prime Realty, just as and it's just something, it's kind of it's that marketing thing with Barry, he had 17 years as a vice president of a media marketing company up in Nashville, and it shows in everything they do. They know how to market, they know how to present stuff, and they love to give back to the community. And so Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty presented the city of Cross Plains with a smart car. And if you can go to their social media pages, and you'll see a picture of it. It's super cute. And that just shows you how involved they are in the community. They specialize in Robertson County properties because they've been here for, they said that, they've been here in the community for over 30 years. Just like me, they transplanted from Kentucky and made Robertson County their home over 30 years ago. And they just want to show that appreciation. And that's why they gifted the city of Cross Plains with the cars, just to kind of commemorate.
That's cool.
Time. I think that's really cool. But they've got...
I see the car again. You flip around?
Yeah, here you go. You can look at it.
All right.
But they are, again, great folks to work with in the real estate area. If you are looking to buy or sell, wondering how much home can you buy, see how much home you qualify for, how much you pre-qualify for. When you reach out to Rebecca, you can go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky. Let me see the phone number there.
Yeah,
I think I could remember it, but it's 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. You can give Rebecca a call and find out how to sit down and just, have a cup of coffee with them and say, how much home can I buy? Maybe you want to know how much your property's worth. They won't charge you for a market value estimate on your property, so if maybe you can afford a home loan or an equity loan, or you might want to refinance, or just how much is my property worth? Maybe I do want to go ahead and sell. But they understand all of those parts of it. She's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. He is the broker here in Springfield. Together they are Exit Prime Realty. Sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or BuyRobertsCounty.com, and go and check out their social media and see that cool little Cross Plains smart car. And be sure when you talk to them, let them know that U-Turn sent you. And I got a feeling all you got to do is go through Cross Plains. You're going to see that thing running around. I wonder who gets to drive that.
I would love to drive it.
Yeah, it's
that would be fun. My son would love that. He would think that was hilarious.
Yeah. Well, see, Barry, they've got one. Our worship leader at church drives one of those.
Like as a daily car?
Like he drives a little smart car.
Yeah.
He drives a little smart car. That's his car.
That's his every day.
Yeah. It's every
Can you
day
drive
car.
that on the interstate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. oh, that's what he drives. Because when he first got it, I'm always, I've got a Camry now. I had to, when I had to do my teaching certification in Murfreesboro, I traded for a more gas economy vehicle.
Sure.
And so I've had a little Camry for a while now, and I like it because I can park it easier and all that, and I've gotten used to it. But I'd always driven,
something big,
Suburbans and Yukons and all that. And so when I was working at the church is when he first got that. And I would pull up next to him, and it was just so odd looking. Yeah. Because they're so little cars.
Yes, yeah.
But I'll show you another. We had, when we were down in Mexico, we got a great picture in Ensenada of my husband. He's criminal justice teacher. And so we got this great picture of him with the policia.
Oh yeah, that's
And that's an Ensenada.
See, that would make sense.
Isn't that cute?
Like if you're just trying to in town.
And I'll share that on comments, but I'll have to do it after the show's over. But it's really funny.
Your husband's a good sized dude. I don't know if he'd be riding around in that.
No, there's no way he'd get in that. There's no way he'd get in that.
I don't know that I could get in that.
I said I gotta get a picture of that.
Right.
That's just so funny. That will eventually go up in his classroom, hopefully. But yeah. It was a great fun, but those little cars are just hysterical, and I love them. They're definitely, when it comes to the marketing end of it, they're a go-getter. You got some sniffles going on
there. It's morning allergies. I have them until about 9 o'clock, and then I'm fine the rest of the day. So you catch me I'm right in the heart of it right now. So that's okay.
Well, and I've got I've got the stash of a little Hall's coffee.
You saved me last week. I thought I was going to choke to death, and that thing was a miracle. That thing was a miracle. Those lozenges,
I discovered these at Freed Hardeman University when they first put me on the radio.
Yeah.
Because, once I got bit by the radio bug, there was no way I was missing my air shift. It was like, it's my turn to do it.
That's a thing in radio, too, right? You don't miss because you might get replaced.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
So if you need any here,
thank you. I appreciate it. I'm good. Yeah, we'd had an event at our church the night before, and I had inhaled a bunch of smoke from the grill.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like kind of choked up all morning. And I'm used to it. I cook all the time, but those saved me because I couldn't even get words out. So
they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're awesome. I'm telling you. And you want just the honey ones, just the little honey ones. They're the best for me. But that's and people who sing and that they do.
Right.
I'll never forget my worst time was my allergies because I have little allergy tickles that just get me. I'm standing up as a bridesmaid in a wedding, in a beautiful garden wedding for one of my very best friends, and I couldn't stop coughing.
Oh, that's the worst.
I was so embarrassed.
And then the more you try to suppress it, the worse it is. Oh yeah, that you can't do anything about it. Yeah, it's just something. It's like, and everybody starts looking at you. He's like, I don't want to be doing this.
Yeah,
like I'm not trying to do this. This is a bodily function that is. I'm trying to stop.
Mortified.
Oh yeah, it's always usually those times in a meeting when it's real quiet or church service or whatever. I'm trying to be quiet. Yeah.
You're like, I'm sorry, I'm that one, but
yeah.
Brian Pulley's here. He's
Good morning.
United Way, Middle Tennessee, and we have the best United Way office in the country right here.
I like that, in the country.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
You're so good.
We
are care about what you do, and it's just so obvious.
I feel
just love y'all.
very blessed to work with the people that I do because it is the people that make this go. And when I first started, I was thinking about this the other day because I had a meeting and there was somebody that I don't normally get to sit in meetings with that works for our Raise Your Hand program. Mm-hmm. And she's very passionate about what she does and was talking about it, and then was just talking about some stuff she's got going on in her personal life, good stuff that she has going on in her personal life. And she's just a genuinely really good person and really cares about what she does. And it's funny, I came from a world of college athletics, which I worked in for 15 years, which is made up of a bunch of former athletes. And if you've ever been around, especially athletes at a high level, they are the most competitive people. It's insane how you think competitive people. Just get around these people. That's all they've done their entire life is compete, and they compete in everything they do. And so there's a mindset you have to be in to work in that world because everything is a competition. Everything is like they're trying to get a little edge here, whatever, for whoever they're working for, their school. And so you just kind of get used to that world. So I came back to nonprofit, and my first, I'd say 6 months to a year, I was like, these people can't be this good here. Like, wait, they're being polite, right? It's like when you first get to know somebody, it's like, when I really get to know them, this stuff's going to be different. I've been here over 6 years now. That they genuinely are this good people. Their heart is in it. They care. They care about their community. They care about the places where they're serving, in particular, their programs. It's a genuine thing, and it makes you want to be better at what you do. Like it's helped me because I've had to raise my bar as far as who I am as a person. You talk about when you get into a job, it's like I'd like to develop personally and professionally, and personally as to just be a better human being. Yeah. And you work around these people, and it rubs off on you. You can't help. But so when I say that, I'm not trying to brag on I'm just literally like, these people they're really about it. It's like, well, they're just saying that when they go to these meetings. You don't know the stuff that they do after hours, nights, weekends, just out of their own pocket, whatever to try to help, and it's amazing. So very blessed to work with them. And speaking of, we have a new Raise Your Hand person for Robertson County, and she's been on maternity leave, and she's back, and I think I'm going to try to get her, and I'll confirm with you 2 weeks. She's wanting to come in. She's wanting to recruit volunteers. Her name is Latasia Harris, and I was talking to the lady that runs the Raise Your Hand program, and she's like, she will hit the ground running. She's like, she's another Dr. K. She is a brilliant young woman, and has a passion for helping young people and helping them achieve their goals and get a better education, and so I think she's going to be an asset to our community and really going. So she'll be around. You'll see her, but they're heavy in recruitment for their volunteers for the upcoming year. And then I know you're a teacher and you understand this. There's been some budget here and there stuff going on, and so the need for volunteers to come in and help these kids will be even greater this year and presumably moving forward. And so if you're interested in that, she'll come in and speak a lot more to that. But it's a wonderful program. They have really expanded it. The amount of schools that we're serving is an all-time high. The amount of kids we're serving is an all-time high, and it's just a great way to really get involved at a grassroots level with our young people, because if you can talk to them a little bit at that age and help them get a better foundation, both educationally, and then you just don't have to talk about school stuff. You get to talk about other stuff maybe with them while you're there with them, and maybe plant some seeds so that they can be have a chance to be a productive members of our society and have a chance at some opportunities that they might not otherwise gotten if they hadn't had somebody step in at a young age and help. It makes a big difference.
That's what Bill and I were talking about. Whenever we were supposed to have Matt Eggleston on, the public defender, to share his testimony and talk about Recovery Fest, which we'll continue to talk about.
Yes.
But they got an illness in their family, so I called Bill at the last minute. I said, just come in and talk about what it was like when you started school. Mm-hmm. And he talked about the impact teachers that he still remembers, and the experiences in school. And so whether you're teaching, whether you're tutoring, whatever, when you come in and you just share yourself with these kiddos, they take note of it. Mm-hmm. And the smallest little seed, I was talking with somebody the other day about just the little things that were said to me over the course of my life that completely changed my trajectory and changed my path. And you just never know. You never know what you're going to say to somebody.
You never know what sticks, what gets in there. He's like, well, I don't make a difference. He's not paying attention to me, or she's not paying attention to me. It was funny. I was taking my daughter to school, first day of school, and we had to circle around. We got there super early to the point where they weren't really ready for it yet. So I just made a loop and came back through, and I was cutting by, and I said, you want to see one of Daddy's old jobs where I used to work when I was a young person? So we rode by, and it was a Better Block here in Springfield. I worked there the summer after what? Better Block. It's a Better Block. Okay. Yeah, it's a construction company here in Springfield. On Richard Street. Yep.
Yeah. When we were roofers.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I know Better Block.
So I worked there the summer after my freshman year of college. I think I made $5.15 an hour. Wow. Hours were 7 to 7 basically, stacking blocks all summer. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so it was a really hard job. It was a very physical job.
Very, very much so.
And at that time, I wasn't happy in school. My freshman year of college hadn't really gone great, and there was a guy that worked there that he was a forklift driver, and he was an older man, and we would, the only time we get lunch is when they were probably breaking OSHA. I don't know if that existed in the 90s. It doesn't matter. It's statute of limitations is passed.
Contractors.
Okay.
It did.
Okay.
It did.
Well, we got to eat when the machine that spit the blocks out would have a malfunction, and they had to work on it. That's when you got to take your break, basically. So it was not a scheduled break in the day. So you didn't know when you were going to eat lunch. So I would eat lunch with this guy. we got to know each other, and I told him, I said, I don't know if I want to go back to school. It's hard. I'm broke, and all these things. And he gave me some really great advice right there. And he said, this ain't it. You ain't made for this. This ain't it. This is not going to be your life. He said, you need to go back to school, and just really poured into me. And wasn't like a preachy way. It was just like a real way. And he said, you don't want to be doing this when you're my age and you're physical and all that, just talk to me every day. I went back to school. Thankful I did, got an education. Everybody's path's different. For me, that worked for me and was able to do some things in my life I wanted to do. But you never know that man, and it was God's plan for me to be there and talk to that man because I was having all these doubts, and he poured into me just a little bit. And we talked about he was a sports guy. We talked about everything, but just those little things, those seeds he planted stuck with me and motivated me to go back to school, got my education, whatever. And have had a good career, that worked for me, but he took a little bit of time.
I love it.
And so that's you have opportunities to do that with these young people at a very impressionable age. I was at that time 18, and my head was as hard as this table right here. So it was amazing I even heard anything. But the kids at that age are so impressionable, and there's such an opportunity to pour into them. And a lot of times they're coming from homes where they might not be getting a lot of attention because they have several siblings, or their parents have to work all the time, or they're single parent households, whatever the case may be, being raised by grandparents. We see that a lot right now, and just due to several circumstances. And so they're looking for adults to show them a little bit of love and pay attention to them. And you can do that multiple ways, but this is one easy way, and it's based around education. But you can help them right there, and you never know, something you say, like to what your point, will maybe change the course of their life and maybe let them see things in a different way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you figure if you'd had somebody at Better Block that was like, oh, that's a great job, stick with it, you'll climb. You just never know what could happen.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with working at Better Block. That's why I'm saying that. For me, he saw that it was probably not going to work out for me. Anyway, and I already was in school, so he's probably looking at us like, you've already gotten into school and you've already started that path. He's maybe thinking about things he wished he would have done in his life, which we do when we get a little older, and just gave me really sage advice. And like I said, he was just being real with me, but his advice was good. And of all the people that had talked to me around that time and people I was looking to, for some reason that resonated. And the way he delivered it, and I kind of respected him. He just had a way about him, and I can't even, that was 30 years ago, and I don't even know if he's still around, but I would like to thank him. You know what I mean? Because it just changed my life, and you just never know when you're going to have those opportunities. And so that program in particular, I know I've talked a lot about that. Latasia will come in and talk about specifics, but there's many opportunities to get involved in your community, and young people may not be it. It's like, I don't really know how to talk to them. There's many ways to get involved and serve your community. But if you want to see your community thrive and be a better place, it starts with our younger people, because that's the ones that are going to grow up and be working and living here, and that's the next generation. And so we need to be pouring into them, and they need it now more than ever, just from what I can see in the programs I'm involved with. I've been coaching for a long time. I see right now with the kids I coach is, again, a lot of grandparents are raising these kids. And, again, I don't know exactly what the reasons are for all of them. I know some of them, and they're doing the best they can, but it's hard. They're older, they're tired, you know what I mean? And they're trying to run these kids all around. And so some of the reasons that they're in where I'm coaching is because they're looking for outlets for their kids to be involved with, and they're also probably looking for adults to pour into them. And so I take that. It's I coach an upward. It's more of a ministry than basketball. Basketball is a big part of it, but it's an opportunity to pour into these kids and talk to them about life and what's going on at school, and how we be better people and be respectful of our friends and our teammates and all that. And so they need that. They're craving it. And the ones that you see that are a little hard-headed at first typically are the ones that need it the most, and by the end of the year, they're the ones soaking it up the most. You just got to kind of crack through that hard exterior there a little bit. And so I would encourage you to get involved, and if there's questions or ways we can get involved, I promise you we got every outlet there is throughout Middle Tennessee. 615-780-2401, 615-780-2401. We'll get you plugged in and get you going, and our partnership with Hands On has expanded our network as far as just having opportunities to do things in not just this community, but throughout our 9-county footprint. And so if you work somewhere else, live somewhere else, got family somewhere else, there's no excuse. I promise you, we can find a place for you.
I love it.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to find out. And I'll tell you one thing, I need to talk about the UPS store, but since I've got the Recovery Fest pulled up, I'm going to hand you this. And I know Catherine talked about it because she's on the planning committee.
She is. And I want to talk a little bit more because I know you're involved with it too.
Yeah, I'm the MC.
You the MC?
I'm on the recovery.
I know you're very involved with them.
But I'm not on the Recovery Fest, planning committee.
Right.
But
you're working it. You're doing the MCing. Yeah.
They've asked me to MC it this year. Yes.
They got a good one.
Sure. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So, but there's the details. So why don't you tell everybody?
Yeah, I'll be glad to. So we got Recovery Fest 2025, and it will be this Saturday, August 9th from 5 to 9 p.m., Robertson County Fairgrounds. They're going to have vendors, musicians, speakers, great MC, food and family-friendly activities. Weather's supposed to be great Saturday, nice sunny day, probably a little cooler that evening. Be a good night to come out and support this. I think we're at a stage now where every single one of us have been affected by this in some way, whether it be personally, whether it be an immediate family member, a friend, coworker, whatever. It's somebody that has struggled with addiction and is in recovery and is working to reclaim their life. And so would encourage you to come out and support this. They do amazing work. We have some wonderful sponsors of that. I'm glad United Way is a part of this, and just a cool thing for the community. And that's this recovery community that we have is doing some great work, and they got a lot of people that really care they're getting in to try to help people reclaim their lives from their addictions and be the people that they need to be for their families and for themselves. And it's something that I've been touched by personally, and it's a hard deal, and it's affecting a lot of people, and it doesn't discriminate from if you're rich, poor, young, old, black, white. It does not care. I promise you. It is the addiction is a real thing, and some of the stuff that's going around now is just really hard for people to overcome. So I encourage you to come out and support it. You'll hear a great MC, have a fun night with your family, get to eat something good. So. Come on out.
Great music too.
Oh yeah, who's playing? Whose music you got?
Collard Greens and
you need this way.
we got Buzzy Poole's groups coming out, and who else is on the slate now? Some rumors that the Epiphanies, We Imperfect Few are going to be there, but they've got some that are out of town, and so they're not going to be able to be there. But
what is Collard Greens?
Collard Greens is I think it's Pear's group.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I think that's them.
Okay.
I think that's them.
Okay.
But
that's a great name for a band.
Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I was tied up with. I had just had my other knee surgery before the one last year, so they had me sitting at the dunking booth last year. So I was in charge of the dunking booth, so I could hear the music.
You weren't getting dunked; you were monitoring.
No. I was monitoring it.
You just had surgery.
Yeah, because it was it's a fundraiser and all of that, and we had Judge Perry in there, and that's why I got to know Matt, the public defender, because he was in there too. But everybody wanted to dunk Judge because even though they love him after they're through the process. During the process, they're like, "I'm gonna get him." You know what I mean?
Right. He's got to hold him. He got to hold him accountable. Right. It's like having a really tough coach. Right.
Exactly.
They're holding you accountable the whole time. You kind of despise them when you're in the process, and then afterwards you love and respect them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing. And so we've also got Megan Williams. Williams is going to be in there, and she is the director of the recovery court. And so Althea said, "I think you need to get in there, Megan."
Yeah.
They have the same kind of
she's the ones holding them to it,
holding their feet to the fire. Well, we get that a lot from people when they talk about Sean Elmore with Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. I've seen people on because we'll go to the big fundraiser they have at the first of the year, and there's always somebody there. It's like, oh, Miss Sean, whenever I first met you, I just wanted to punch you in the nose, and they're like, now I love you because you made me do it.
That's right.
And so it's that kind of relationship. But we always have a lot of fun. Definitely putting Judge in the Duncan booth.
Yeah.
And of course, this is only our second year, but I'm like, yeah, we've been doing this a while. And rumor has it now they've got. I think it's been confirmed. It's like if we're going to have our hands on it, Jelly Roll's donating a guitar.
Oh, really? Cool. I know he's very strong in the recovery community. His own story. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
One of our board members, I guess it's his daughter that's like working with him or somebody. In
There's a
his
connection.
family. There's a connection.
Yeah.
Because we thought we were going to be able to get him down here, but then all of a sudden he just went.
Yeah.
He's just like so huge now.
Right.
It's kind of like you could have gotten Leanne Morgan to do something local 2 years ago. Not now.
Yeah.
But she's a big hot deal.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No.
Leanne Morgan's the girl that's been doing comedy forever.
Oh, no. Yeah. My
Adams.
wife and my mom went to her show in Clarksville.
Oh, my
Sorry, I was
goodness.
thought you were talking about music. Now it clicked.
No, I'm clicking.
The
but
comedian.
I'm talking about local big
Show. She's
things.
blown up, and they said her show was hilarious, and
It's so good.
And it's funny, because I mentioned my wife. I said it's kind of ironic. So maybe the most popular male comedian is from Middle Tennessee.
Three.
Yeah, Nate Bargatze, and then Leanne is from here.
Yep.
So probably the two hottest comedians in the country are both from Middle Tennessee, which is kind of crazy.
Not just Middle Tennessee, within
Like,
30 miles of each other.
Yeah, right here. So
I'm so proud of it.
Right.
And they're clean comedy.
I know. Yeah, I like Nate
Leanne's
a
a
lot.
little more edgy than Nate
Right.
is because Nate he's so clean. And what I love about the TV show, the sitcom that they're doing with Leanne, is
I didn't know this. I didn't know this. You're telling me
the
stuff.
sitcom is just hysterical, and she's being the grounded one. Now she's got some edgy stuff going on around it, but they cast it the casting is brilliant. On
Where
that
can
show.
you watch the show? Netflix. It's a Netflix show.
I think it will be on the networks though.
Yeah, cool.
I think she's going to be, and I don't want to compare her to somebody. Let's compare her to like Tim Allen or somebody like that. She's going to blow up as big as that.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think she's going to be huge.
Yeah, I respect
Huge.
the comedians that are clean, work clean too, because it's so much harder to do that, because a lot of the ones that hey, you like whatever you like. It's almost like a crutch they use, some of the
really is.
vulgar material or whatever,
can't stand
and
it.
it's an easy laugh.
Yeah.
But when you have to talk clean, like you actually have to be funny.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
So
They actually have some talent.
right? Yeah, have to have good material and deliver it well. So
Yeah, but we were talking about that, because before Jelly Roll got huge, he had some local connections. Of course, Leanne grew up in Adams, but now that they're so huge, it's hard to connect with them because you got to get through their people. But we do have, the rumor has it, we do have a Jelly Roll guitar. I was saying when we had Althea in here on Monday, I said, wouldn't it be great if we get something from Leanne? I know her people, she's still got people around here, I'm assuming, but because we're going to have a raffle at the Recovery Fest.
okay,
And so you're going to get a ticket when you just come in.
Just for entering.
It's a free event, you're going to get a free entry. But if you want to purchase extra entries, you can. And throughout the program, we're going to be drawing for those. That's probably my primary job, is just say, here's collard greens and here's the winner. That's gonna be what I'm gonna be doing.
Where does if you purchase raffle tickets, where does that money go? Who?
It's all for the to help offset the cost of the Recovery Fest and any recovery programs, recovery court,
Okay.
all the things related to
What they're
recovery in
doing,
our
their
community.
mission.
Yes,
Awesome. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I do need to talk about the UPS store, and then we'll come back and think about if there's anything else you
Okay.
need to cover. But our UPS store is one of our latest sponsors, and we appreciate them all so much. And the UPS store, if you've not been by there, guys, I mean, it is so much more than dropping off your Amazon packages. You can go in and get all kinds of things printed, unusual things printed, large print. I think they do. I know they do blueprint stuff now. We used to have to go to Nashville to get that done. When we were a roofing contractor, we couldn't get that done around here. And so they have all those services. They've got notary services. Everybody in that store can notarize your stuff. And that, to me, is just a huge convenience, because it just is a hassle trying to find a notary sometime. They're special this month's coupons, 10% off business cards, postcards, and invitations, and 10% off all printing and laminating services for all teachers. That's a teacher coupon, and then you can win $250 just for giving your feedback. You can be entered for that. And hang on to your coupons, because that's one thing they talk about, is how those coupons don't expire.
That's good to know.
So hang on to them. But you want to come out and see them at the UPS store. They are, again, I'm going to have to go by there and drop off some Amazon packages, because that's where we do that. But I love that they're open extended hours now. They're open from 8 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturday, they are opened 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and they even have some Sunday hours, noon to 5. And they're at 513 Memorial Boulevard here in Springfield. The UPS store, nicest folks. just as good a customer service as you get at Chick-fil-A.
I tell you this,
That's a lot.
saying this is a two-time a seasonal job, former UPS store worker right here. For Christmas when I was in college, I worked a million jobs. Anyway, this is the best one I've ever been into, and I have to go in here all the time as a nonprofit person that has limited computer skills. I need stuff printed. I need things happening. I got to ship stuff a lot to things. They are amazing.
Yes,
they are quick. If you see a line in there, it's like going to Chick-fil-A. Don't worry about it. You're still going to be out in about 5 minutes because they're that good. They move you right through. I've had to get things notarized. I have to use them all the time for work, for personal. My wife, I am the official Amazon return person in my house because of where I work. Yeah. My office is right by the UPS store, so I return everything. They are amazing. This one right here is fantastic, and you're not going to get the person that's like, I'm not sure, I got to ask. They all know what they're doing. So you're good to go in that place. If you got any type of business service, they're fantastic.
What he said. Thank you, sir.
I wasn't that good. They kept me in the back just packing stuff. They didn't let me talk to the people. So
I love it. I love it. All right, Brian Pulley with United Way. Visiting with us as he always does on Thursdays, 7:30, just to kind of update you on the things going on. They are the bridge builder to the nonprofits in our community. If you're trying to find something to plug in and serve others, reach out to them. If you have any kind of services you need, 211 is the hotline you can call and just say, hey, I need help with this. And they're going to point you in the right direction, or they're going to work to find that resource for you if they don't already have it listed. Anything else we need to
contact us directly? Also, you can always give us a call. You can come by our office. But to our meetings, we're scattered a little bit just because we're supposed to be out in the field talking to folks. But we are at the corner of 5th and Main, the 4-H building on the basement side. Come in anytime, and we'd be glad to help you. We do have a Habitat build September 6th that we are involved in. Habitat's one of our funded partners. I think I'm pretty sure we're looking for volunteers. We've made the opportunity internally, but if you're interested in that, I'm sure we can probably two or three plug you in there. So it's September 6th from 9, I think it's 9 to 3 on September 6th. Give me a call, 615-780-2401, 615-780-2401, and we can get you plugged in there too.
I want to do that so bad, and I'm trying to see if we're going to, and Catherine had talked about that, but I figured your volunteers would fill up quick.
I think they are working on it. I don't know where they are at. I talked to Catherine about it 2 days ago, and they were still working on it. But I just figured I'd throw it out in case anybody's interested. And that's going to be going on for a while, so that might not be the only date. That's our date, though, that we have access to.
I got you for United Way. Because I would love to be a part of that. I think those are so cool. I've had some friends from some of my Egyptian friends have been a part of those. I think I've told you.
Very cool.
All right. I'll see, hopefully you can stop by Recovery Fest.
I'm planning on. I'm gonna try to get up there. Cool. Yeah.
Outstanding. Thank you guys for joining us. Tomorrow is Faith Friday. I have not confirmed. I'm gonna reach out and see if I can get Jack Martin in here. I haven't visited with him in a while. I got his kid on one of his grandkids in my class again, so I got a little bit more of an inside connection with him now. So, but anyway, we appreciate you joining us. This is again 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a fabulous day.